Let's jump to the story from the Daily Beast. Ukraine joining NATO guaranteed to start World War III, Russian official says. The war in Ukraine is guaranteed to escalate into World War III if Kiev is allowed to join NATO, according to a Russian Security Council official. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky made a surprise announcement that he had made a fast-track bid for membership. Blah, blah. We know a lot of this. All of NATO's 30 members would have to approve Ukraine's bid, making full membership of the defense group a long way off. Kiev is well aware that such a step would mean a guaranteed escalation to World War III. So, and then here's a quote. The suicidal nature of such a step is understood by NATO members themselves. Maybe one NATO country is just going to say, no, we do not want to vote yes on being dragged into a nuclear war. But the one thing I can say is that if you are between the ages of 17 and 24, because I don't think it'll happen right now, but you know, that draft age, and you support this war, well, I'm actually looking forward to you being drafted. You go fight the war that you supported. All of these Gen Zers with the little Ukrainian flags in their Twitter bios, I'm actually excited to see you guys go through basic training and then go be the cannon fodder for the wealthy elites who want to win this region of Eastern Europe. How about that?
I would go even further. If you're a politician calling for war, go fight it. You're more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to join the armed forces. What's stopping you? If you really want this, go and get it. And I think that's how we should be treating these situations if we had an evolved humanity that said, you know what, we're not fighting these stupid wars. We're not going to die for politicians. We're not going to die for these people that are selling arms and making a profit off of this nonsense. We're not there. We're at a phase where, of course, we have a lot of lunacy, we have a lot of insanity, and a lot of escalations to this conflict that are absolutely nonsensical. There's no purpose to us. There's no larger agenda here. What's the goal here? Why are we doing this? Can you even explain that? They can't. There's no rational argument for what's happening right now.
Let me ask you guys. Is there a circumstance where you agree with an offensive invasion? Is there a circumstance where you think the U.S. should declare war preemptively and then invade a country before being attacked?
I mean, that's a very open-ended question. There could be many different scenarios.
Sure.
I'm
asking if you can think of one. You probably can, right?
Before being attacked? I don't know.
So the U.S. sitting there minding its own business. There's another country that's minding its own business, but they may be engaging in some activities. Is there a circumstance where they don't attack you, but you think it is justified to invade that country?
Well, if you're talking about a situation where you know they are going to attack you, that can be justified. But what we've done in Iraq and what we've seen and what to some degree Russia has done in Ukraine is theoretically something is going to happen someday that will allow them to threaten us or attack us, and we need to attack them first before that happens. And that way lies madness.
Well, that's what Zelensky said. He called for preemptive strikes on Russia.
He is also calling for preemptive strikes. Yep.
Well, then he walked it back. No, I meant
preemptive sanctions.
Yeah, sanctions.
Which there's already a bunch of sanctions.
Right. It wouldn't do anything to deter. In fact, it would just exacerbate the problem. Yeah. I wonder if there ever really is. I'm sure a lot of the more libertarian types are probably like, no, there is, no matter what some other country is doing, so long as they're not attacking you, you should not invade them.
I think there are instances where a military buildup could be, a cause for war. Like Germany building up the tanks that it was building up before World War II. If France had been like, this is too risky to have that on our border, because what happened was they blitzkrieged and they took Paris. Like within 2 weeks, it was theirs. And that's what, if you let someone go full hog, that's why they built the liberal economic order, was to prevent other countries from going full hog.
But imagine you have a neighbor, and every day you see your neighbor buying more and more guns, and he's got a massive arsenal. You can see it through the window. Does that justify you going over there, having him arrested, his property confiscated, or saying that this guy's clearly going to be attacking someone? I better stop him. I don't see it. Now, but there is an analogy. It's if you saw through your neighbor's window him mercilessly beating a child, you would kick the door in and you would get physical with this man, or you'd call the police. But if he was mercilessly beating a child, for the safety of that child, to stop this act, you would invade that house, right?
That's also why that's usually the argument used for invasions.
Exactly.
It's never just that, okay, they may threaten us, although those arguments are usually used too. It's about whatever humanitarian bad things are going on in that country. And let's face it, in most of the world, a lot of bad things are going on. A lot of governments are bad governments doing bad things.
I'd say all of them.
Yeah, and
Every single one of
it's
them.
not
I
very
agree.
much of a
Thank you.
limiting principle.
Preach. Sorry, go ahead.
It's not very much of a limiting principle for war if you're going to justify it on that
Yeah,
basis.
but then there's the next level of the United States and other governments staging these kind of events that are not true, that have no basis in reality, just like we saw in the first Gulf War with the baby incubator story, with literally a PR team working for the government engineering a story that the Iraqi government was taking babies from incubators and just murdering them like they were just sociopaths. That story completely made up by a PR agency that led to the first Gulf War. There was public hearings, there was videos, all of them fake, manipulated, because again, they needed a justification, so they made one up.
They had like a young girl speak to the UN about it. Isn't
Yes,
that
and
right?
she was the daughter of an ambassador that again was coached and staged to lie on national television that she personally saw the babies taken out of the incubators, which was such a horrible,
It's insane.
just visualization that it shocked people emotionally to say, yeah, we got to stop this guy.